The USS Hornet CVS-12 is an Essex-class aircraft carrier built for the United States Navy during World War II. Completed in late 1943, the ship was assigned to the Fast Carrier Task Force in the Pacific Ocean, the Navy's primary offensive force during the Pacific War. In early 1944, she participated in attacks on the Japanese installations in New Guinea, Palau, and Truk, among others. The Hornet then took part in the Mariana and Palau Islands campaign and most of the subsidiary operations, most notably the Battle of the Philippine Sea in June that was nicknamed the Great Marianas Turkey Shoot for the disproportionate losses inflicted upon the Japanese. The ship then participated in the Philippines campaign in late 1944 and the Volcano and Ryukyu Islands campaign in the first half of 1945. She was badly damaged by a typhoon in June and had to return to the United States for repairs. After the war, she took part in Operation Magic Carpet, returning troops to the U.S., and then was replaced in reserve in 1946. Hornet was reactivated during the Korean War of 1950 to 53, but spent the rest of the war being modernized to allow her to operate jet-propelled aircraft. The ship was modernized again in the late 1950s for service as an anti-submarine carrier. She played a minor role in the Vietnam War during the 1960s and in the Apollo program, recovering the Apollo 11 and 12 astronauts as they returned from the moon. The USS Hornet was decommissioned in 1970. She was eventually designated as both a National Historic Landmark and a California Historical Landmark, and she opened to the public as the USS Hornet Museum in Alameda, California in 1998. As with most wars comes casualties and great tragedy with much bloodshed and tears. The USS Hornet is not only popular for its long history and its very successful history as well, it also has a deep dark secret, a more spectral and ominous vibe to it. There have been stories and reportings of ghosts, not only seen by public people going to the museum, but also sailors that have been on the ship when it was still commissioned. These are just a few of the stories of the people that have seen ghosts or have seen ominous things on the USS Hornet. In early February 2009, I was volunteering on the USS Hornet with a group of my fellow U.S. Coast Guardsmen. We were painting a compartment, and a few of us were wearing white Tevic paper suits. When our paint started running low, I went off in search of the Hornet worker that was supplying our paint, getting lost in the process, of course. As I wandered the passageways, I came off a side passage onto the starboard main passageway, one deck below the hangar deck. I saw what I thought was one of my coworkers stepping off into the main hall onto a side passage about 25 feet away from me. I called out to him, but he kept walking away. And when I got to the hall he stepped into, there was a chain blocking the entrance, and it was an empty compartment. Needless to say, I was confused, but kept walking and eventually found my way back to the room we were painting. When I saw the coworker I thought I'd seen earlier, I mentioned to him that I called him in the passageway, but he told me that he hadn't left the room for about an hour. Later, when I mentioned this to the Hornet employees, one lady said that I had seen Dress White's ghost, apparently an apparition of a sailor wearing his dress white uniform. It was the 2005 Fleet Week in San Francisco, and our Sea Cadet unit was attending it. It was my first time that I attended Fleet Week, and I was really excited when someone told me that we'd be spending the night on board a retired aircraft carrier. When I got aboard, all seemed normal until the night came, and the word started going around that the ship was haunted. I have a very strong belief in fear of ghosts, so I believed it. Worse off, all of us had to participate in the fire and security watch for our individual units. Mine got called 3 a.m. So I switched it into my work utilities and I made my way from the marine racks to the CPO mess area. It had to be the scariest thing I've ever done. When I got down there, the other unit watchstanders were waiting for us. As I arrived, I remember hearing cries for help, and I immediately alerted security thinking we had a medical situation with the cadet. But strangely, we were the only ones who heard it, and after checking the 2 rack sessions near us, we did not find the source of the cries. An hour later, there was a distinctive smell of a pipe or cigar smoke, and we did not know where it came from. Once again, we radioed security to see if anyone had been smoking on the decks above us or just anywhere near us, but they said someone was smoking a cigarette on the fantail and we're 2 decks down. And it was really strange that we were able to smell that. The strangest was the sound of footsteps near the head on the deck above us. We thought someone had gotten out of the rack without permission and decided to go ahead and without alerting any of us. So when we went up and checked, no one was there. The rest of the night I could not sleep because I kept hearing voices near my rack. I was relieved that we can only stay there for a night. I could not have survived too. The hit paranormal TV show Ghost Adventures investigated the Iron Giant in the San Francisco Bay Area. Upon their investigation, there were residual noises of banging and footsteps. There was also an apparition caught on camera. It manifests 30 feet away from Aaron in the darkened zone. There is also an EMF reading, or electromagnetic field. It had 2 spikes and a 10-degree rise that was documented on Zach's EMF detector. There are also temperature fluctuations. The temperature changed to 66 degrees Fahrenheit about almost 66 times. They also caught many different EVPs, such as Get Out, God, I Did Steven, Yeah, Run, We're Coming, I'll Get You, That's Right, I'm Sorry, It's Cold, Get Up, Nick, Help, Almost, and I Was Hurt. Aaron's shirt strap was pulled up while using the spirit box. Ironically, after that, a voice is captured saying, "That's right, I did that." There's also another apparition after Zach sounds an alarm, and 7 minutes after in Broadway, an energy anomaly forms and shoots down the hallway like if he was trying to get to his battle station. Another apparition was also caught in the galley. 24 minutes after the energy anomaly forms, a mist figure appears and is reaching up for a pot. Nick, the old member of Ghost Adventures, was laying in one of the medical rooms for burn victims. He claims his back is being burned, his arm is being pricked with needles, and is seeing his breath. Throughout the rest of the investigation, there were many other apparitions and also more physical contact with Aaron. Many people have claimed to see blood in the medical area of the battleship. Blood have also appeared on the walls and mysteriously also just disappeared. Now that the battleship is decommissioned, it is possible that there are still soldiers living on the battleship, thinking that they're still in the Philippines or in Japan. There's a rumor that they captured a Japanese soldier and kept him in a cell where he lived out the rest of his days and is still trapped in this cell. Many of these sailors and soldiers are most likely trapped in the walls for eternity, as they probably don't understand that they died. Hey everybody, how are you doing today? So today's video I felt was actually rather interesting, as I'm not too familiar with the Navy side of the war. I'm more familiar with the Air Force and infantry. I was an Air Cadet for a long time, so I just, I'm more familiar with the history behind the Air Force and stuff like that. I'm Canadian, so I'm more familiar with Canadian Air Force history. Anyway, so I actually found this episode on iTunes the other night here, and I gave it a watch, and it's probably like one of the coolest episodes they've ever done, if I'm being honest with you. I believe they've done a couple more battleship investigations. But no, yeah, Ghost Adventures is a really, really awesome show. I suggest you watch it. If you just look up Ghost Adventures USS Hornet on iTunes or something like that, you should be able to find the episode. It's such a cool episode, and it's probably one of the best ones they've done. But also had the original crew with Aaron Goodwin, Nick Groff, and Zach Bagans. Zach Bagans has always kind of been a part of it, same for Aaron. But Nick Groff moved on to possibly pursue his own career options, I suppose, but I haven't really seen what he has done yet. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know I stammered a little bit today. I'm not too sure. I don't really have a valid excuse for that. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Keep the likes coming. And if you're new to the Melody family, welcome. It's great to have your acquaintance. And yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, most importantly, stay mellow.